Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is such a great pleasure to see you here this morning. My name is Nathan Cooper, and I'm the MLA for the outstanding constituency of Olds, Didsbury, Three Hills, and it's our great pleasure to have you right here in the finest constituency in all of Alberta. It's also my pleasure to see a number of my colleagues from Mountain View County here, and it's a great pleasure to be able to host the Minister of Environment, Rebecca Schulz, joining us here today. It's a pleasure to be at the E3 Lithium Clearwater site for today's exciting announcement around technology and innovation and the incredible things happening here in the province of Alberta. Again, thank you to Rebecca Schulz for joining us, Justin Reimer, the CEO of Emissions Reductions Alberta, and Chris Dornbus, the President and CEO of E3 Lithium. Today is all about celebrating our province's ingenuity and leadership for responsible energy development. Right here in Alberta, we are leading the way, pushing boundaries, and rapidly moving towards a more sustainable future. By working with industry and innovators, we're finding creative solutions while still making sure that Alberta's energy powers the world for decades to come. This is an important announcement on the potential of making Alberta a lithium leader right here in the great constituency of Olds, Didsbury, Three Hills in Canada, and a lithium leader around the world. As a government, we continue to move forward on helping to diversify the economy, attract investment into local communities, and help create high-paying jobs for Albertans. I'd like to thank you all for being here today. It's my pleasure to introduce the Minister of Environment and Protected Areas, Rebecca Schulz.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Nathan, for being here today and hosting us in the outstanding constituency of Olds, Didsbury, Three Hills. How did I do?
Perfect.
Outstanding. Thank you also to Chris and the team from E3 for having us out here today. For nearly a century, our energy sector has been one of creativity, ingenuity, and resilience. From the early days of oil exploration to providing the safe, affordable, reliable energy and products that the world needs today, the people in this industry, the people here today, who embody the entrepreneurial spirit we are known for, have made us one of the world's true energy superpowers. And for us, the future of energy is not an either-or conversation. We will need oil and gas for generations to come, yet I am also proud to talk about us as an energy leader in hydrogen, in geothermal, in renewable energy, and of course, oil and critical minerals. Alberta's energy industry has long and proud history of showing the world how to get things done. Now today, we again are talking about adding lithium to that list. Around the world, demand for lithium is soaring as jurisdictions scramble to find more of this critical mineral used to power an ever-growing list of electronics that we rely on every single day. Of course, I think most people think about lithium, they think EV batteries, but it's also used in smartphones, laptops, alarm systems, pacemakers, and medical equipment. The world will need a lot more lithium to meet these demands. The mining can be expensive, and if not done properly, it can have significant environmental impacts. But as we do in so many areas, Alberta is stepping up to this challenge. And that's why we're here today to celebrate Emissions Reduction Alberta investing $5 million from the industry-funded Tier Fund to help E3 Lithium develop technology that will help continue to turn Alberta into a global lithium leader. This visionary company is turning waste that is naturally found in oil and gas industry's wastewater, turning it into battery-grade lithium products that can be sold to battery producers and automotive companies, not just here, but around the world. E3's technology takes what is typically considered a waste product and turns it into something highly valuable. With no need for additional fresh water, it will reduce environmental impacts while saving companies thousands of dollars. This isn't hypothetical either. E3's technology has already been piloted and it works. They just need support fine-tuning and perfecting this process before it's applied at a commercial scale. That is where ERA comes in. This $5 million investment will help E3 Lithium test this technology right here in Mountain View County. And thank you again for members of council for being with us today, of course, just outside of Olds. This will help E3 operate a future full-scale commercial facility that is estimated to begin construction in 2026. Again, this funding is delivered through Emissions Reduction Alberta's Partnership Intake Program and was chosen largely because of its potential. Currently, the world's biggest lithium producers are Australia, Chile, and China, but that can change. Our province is blessed with the largest brine reserves in Canada, a workforce that is second to none, and of course, well-documented drill sites that perfectly position us to become a lithium extraction leader. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to the team at E3. You are a testament to Alberta's unwavering entrepreneurial spirit. It is so great to be out here today. We are so proud of the work being done in our energy industry and on critical minerals, and this project is proof once again that nobody adapts better and faster than Albertans. Thank you very much, and I'll now pass things on over to Justin to tell us a little bit more about this project.
Thank you so much, Minister Schulz, for joining us today and underscoring the Government of Alberta's ongoing support for leading-edge innovation. And good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to share a few details about this exciting project. So as many of you know, 2024 marks our 15th year at ERA supporting clean technology in this great province, and we're thrilled to see E3's demonstration project in our portfolio. Since 2009, we've had an unwavering commitment to be a trusted delivery partner of the Government of Alberta for investing tier funds to actively support projects from both an environmental and economic value perspective. Our investments have built a foundation of innovation technologies that reduce emissions, attract investment, create jobs, and drive our economy. And thanks to that sustained and strategic investment, the Government of Alberta has solidified its position as a global leader in clean technology innovation and a trusted funding agency we're proud to be for the government that drives tangible results. I'd really like to especially thank Chris Stormbos and his team at E3 for hosting us as well. It's always been a privilege of mine to visit demonstration sites where we can witness innovation in action, especially as the technology is advancing towards commercialization. This enables us to clearly see how the lessons learned from the pilot projects are being applied and to understand how these insights can drive real outcomes as the technology advances. As Minister mentioned, today's funding is being delivered through our Partnership Intake Program. The project was referred to us by our most trusted partner, Alberta Innovates, who invested nearly $2 million in an earlier field pilot project. Our Partnership Intake Program, it works outside of our regular competitions and provides Alberta government industry tier funding to provide an ability to diversify our portfolio and with innovators who have already proven the potential of their project and have been through a rigorous evaluation process to receive government funding. As the Minister said, ERA's investment in E3's proprietary technology will help Alberta become a key global player in the lithium market. And alongside with producing battery-grade lithium, E3's direct extraction process recycles water drawn from the brine and means no additional fresh water is required. From industrial byproducts to high-demand resources, this is a win-win situation. Alberta's recovery plan includes a mineral strategy focusing on capitalization of the global demand for critical minerals. The Canadian government has designated lithium as a critical mineral and launched a $3.8 billion 8-year mineral strategy to boost domestic extraction and production of lithium to meet increasing demands. The world needs lithium, and Alberta is positioned to produce it at scale. Talk about a game changer for both this region and for this province. Gathering here at what will soon become the first commercial facility, we can see how E3 embodies the essence of Alberta's entrepreneurial drive. They identify an opportunity, they've developed a strategy, and they're making it work. They're taking advantage of the abundant industrial byproducts into a valuable energy resource. The project promotes the circular economy and aligns with Alberta's long-term environmental and economic objectives. This investment demonstrates our dedication to sustained innovation and establishes us as a leader in the global energy market. Since 2009, ERA has committed almost $1 billion into 298 projects worth nearly $9 billion. That's a funding leverage of $1 to $8. In total, projects that we've invested in have created more than 35,000 person years of employment by 2027. And this milestone is a direct result of our continuous collaboration and strong leadership provided by the Government of Alberta. So congratulations to E3 and the team behind the project, which is adding impact to our portfolio. On behalf of ERA, we are thrilled to be part of this exciting journey. I'll now hand things over to Chris, President and CEO of E3 Lithium, and host for today's announcement. Thank you.
Some very kind words. Thank you very much to the Minister and ERA for joining us today and for the support on our project. This support from the Alberta government is critical for building this industry. As mentioned, in Alberta, we have some of the largest lithium resources on the planet. And while this industry is nascent today, global demand for lithium is on the rise. And we have an opportunity to diversify and be part of that, that growing demand and that product that the world now desperately needs. The benefit that we have is that operating a lithium project that E3 looks to build operates almost identically to an oil and gas project. And so therefore we have the skill set here in the province locally in this area to not only build this facility that we plan to look to build in 2026 in a commercial scenario, but also to staff it. We look to create just locally approximately 200 jobs to operate the facility and over thousands of jobs in terms of the construction and the service industry that we need to employ to get this thing up and running. So a very big opportunity to diversify, to bring lithium into the province, and we have the people here already to do this. The demo project that is being supported by ERA and the Alberta government is to drill for the first time a full production bore for producing lithium here on this site, and then turning that into lithium carbonate. Behind me, you see the pilot site that we operated last year with the support of Alberta Innovates. And that will now be expanded in size and scale to produce more of the lithium concentrate that is so critical to the operation. And then we'll also be adding on to that the ability for us to refine it and produce a battery grade lithium carbonate. That will be the first time that such a product at this scale will be produced in Canada using this type of technology. So very excited that E3 is leading the charge in this industry in Alberta and in Canada. If we're successful in our scale-up activities that we aim to get us into commercial construction by 2026, we'll be one of the first lithium producers of battery-grade products in Canada. And this is absolutely critical to this industry to bring this critical mineral into the North American supply chain. As mentioned, there's a big part of direct extraction projects that really focus around sustainability. And one of the big critical pieces that we'll be characterizing at the pilot today, or at the demonstration that we plan to be running here at this site, is looking at characterizing the ability to recycle our waste streams to have to follow the philosophy of zero liquid discharge, no water back in the environment and no water taken from the environment for the process of this producing lithium, which would be a huge change relative to how lithium is produced today in this planet. We also, given the DLE and how the facility will operate, the approach enables us to use significantly less land than a commercial lithium operation. And so we will be able to produce, if we're successful, some of the most sustainable lithium on the planet using this type of technology and doing it here in Alberta. E3 has been able to book just recently through our pre-feasibility study a 1.3 million ton reserve for lithium hydroxide, one of the first reserves of its kind globally and certainly the first one in Canada. And continuing on that, we aim to be able to build a facility moving on from the demonstration project that this funding is supporting will enable us to build a commercial facility that will aim to produce about 32,000 tons of lithium hydroxide initially, which will put it on the global scale of lithium operations. So very excited to be working in Alberta and in this local area. We are in an area here where obviously this is farmers' fields. There's a lot of oil and gas infrastructure, and our neighbors are incredibly important to us. We believe in early engagement, and we've already started talking to our neighbors in this area about what this project is going to look like, and that will continue. We appreciate all of the work that's been gone into this. I'd like to thank my staff for all of their work that they've put into getting not only the pilot successfully operated last year that has now led to the ability to operate this demonstration, but also all the work that will go into getting this project up and running here as soon as we possibly can. I thank the province and all of the support getting E3 to this point. We can't do it without the team, without the people in Alberta, so we're very happy to be here. This is the best place to be building a lithium project.
Thank you. We will now open the floor for questions. Friendly reminder that it is one question, one follow-up. You can just go to the mic right beside the camera there if you have a question. Seeing nobody in the room, operator, can we put through our first question on the line?
First question is from Sean Pulser from Western Standard. Please ask your question.
Excuse me. Do you have any sense of what the ultimate potential for this industry could be in Alberta? Is it possible that it could rival, say, China or Australia or some of those other countries that you mentioned in size? Like, how big could this potentially be, both in terms of the amount of lithium that could be produced and maybe what it would be worth to the economy?
Yeah, in terms of the size of the opportunity, so E3 holds 16 million tons. That's 5 times more than the rest of Canada's lithium resources put together. It is significant for Canada. That's just what E3 holds. There are other lithium projects that are looking to move forward in Alberta as well, which is why this support is so critical to the Alberta economy, because it enables the whole 60 plus million tons of resource that the province holds. And that is one of the largest resources on the planet. The industry is nascent today, so obviously we have to get things up and running, and it's hard to calculate the full potential. But I will say from the E3 perspective, we can be one of the largest producers of lithium by total tons of lithium produced across our Bashaw district alone. So we have that size and scale potential, just E3. And again, there are other projects in Alberta and in Western Canada as well. So the size here is fairly significant. We can rival the largest producers. Right now, half of the molecules of lithium are being produced in Australia, and 80% of all of the refined battery products are being processed in China. And so Alberta has the opportunity to really grab hold of this market and produce global scale sizes of lithium production.
Given that the federal government has recognized lithium as a critical mineral, for its EV strategy and some of these other initiatives that have been going on, have they been providing any funding in addition to the funding that's been coming from Alberta? Are there grants available, and if so, what kind of dollars would they be willing to commit?
Yeah, I think it was mentioned that there's the federal government has put $3.8 billion towards critical mineral development. A lot of the programs for that haven't been yet outlined. I think there's probably about $300 million that's been proposed through CMIF, through Natural Resources Canada. E3 has received a total of about $30 million from the Canadian federal government. The majority of that was through Strategic Innovation Fund, or SIF, through ISED. And that was a $27 million support for the whole project, basically. So the federal government is supporting critical minerals. There is actual opportunities for funding as well from the United States government, because there is a lot of interest in what you might call the domestic North American supply chain, and bringing that on stream fulsomely from resource, the whole ecosystem, from resource all the way to the end product, whether that's a car or phone or whatever the battery is going into.
Operator, can we put through the next question? We can go to the next question.
The next question is from Karen Levitt from Alberta. Please ask your question.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my question. Just a question on the Clearwater project. Your pre-feas study laid out an initial capex of $2.47 billion, and I just wanted to see if you can provide some color around how raising money to meet that number is going. Like I've spoken with some other junior miners who have sort of explained that it's not the easiest capital environment right now. Just wanted to get your take on that and some more information about how that's going for you guys and how you see it going over the next couple of years as you drive towards 2026.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staged approach that you take when you're trying to find capital to build a facility. It's the same challenge everybody has to find the capital to build something of this size. So right now, and this has all been publicly announced, E3's going through a strategic partner process. That'll probably take at least 12 months to find one or several strategic partners to come in and help us support this project. The benefit that E3 has is that we have multiple projects. We think we can build up to 5 of these initial facilities that we had outlined in the pre-feasibility study. And so for the first project, we're looking to find a partner to come in, and then we'll from there be able to support our own operations and build the next and the next after that. And that is the sort of the first step. The majority of these projects get usually financed through debt, and not 100%, but some percentage of them get supported through debt, and that is the next step. So you go to the banks and you find that project financing. And the critical piece of that for our project is going to be offtake contracts to who's ever going to buy the product, and that is something that we're working on right now more fulsomely. And that is how lithium gets sold. So those will happen in time. That's how we sell the product, is through sales contracts. And then the last piece that will support this, and we're looking for this legislation this fall, is the ITC that the federal government has announced, the Manufacturing Investment Tax Credit, that supports capital projects for critical minerals to get them off the ground. So it's going to be a combination of several different pieces that come together to support the capital. The strategy that we have in place, we're already initiating to get that capital. And, I think it's the opportunity, though, to build these facilities and the need for lithium globally, and the need more specifically for domestic North American lithium, is so great that they're estimating $60 billion of capital needed across that to get those projects operating. So we have to build new facilities to get lithium operating. We have to do it. There's no lithium production that we can meet the demand. Everything has to be built from new. So that capital is going somewhere. And E3 aims to build a attractive project from a sustainability perspective, from a jurisdiction. Obviously, Alberta, one of the best places to develop a lithium project, and that's what will attract the investment at the end of the day.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Just as a follow-up, you mentioned the United States, and obviously you laid out how they're interested in developing a domestic market for these critical minerals, and we saw recently a couple large investments in partnership with the Canadian government into junior miners here in Canada. And you brought it up a couple times now, so I'm just wondering if is that an avenue that E3 is exploring? Have you been in talks with the Americans about potentially getting in on some of that funding?
Yeah, there is opportunity for Canadian mineral projects to get funding through the United States government. We have applied. The likelihood of funding from the U.S. government is pretty low, I think, for Canadian projects, but not zero. You have seen some. There's even an Alberta project that recently got some funding through DPA. So they are funding projects, but it is a very slow rollout. And they prioritize U.S. projects. So, but there is definitely opportunity. We have seen it. E3 is applying. Most recently has applied, but it's a competitive process, as all grant applications are. So,
operator, we can put through the next question.
The next question is from Tiffany Lepage from Radio Canada. Please ask your question.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. It's for Chris again. Just to talk about the price of lithium that went quite down in the past year, I'm wondering if it has slowed a little bit the projects, or if you've seen any impact of that drop in price.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely an impact when you're in a down cycle, which is where we are. Commodities go through cycles in terms of their price. They go up and they go down. You see this in copper and all the other minerals. It does hinder investment. So if I was trying to raise capital today, it would be very, very difficult for us to find capital to develop this project. Now, E3 is very well funded. We raised a bunch of capital last year. We have all of that still to deploy. Obviously, this $5 million grant supported by that capital raise is what's funding this demonstration facility, which is still cost money. We still have to drill a well. We still have to build the equipment. We have to operate that equipment here. But the company is very well funded to get through that. And I think that with all cycles, they come back. So there's no doubt in anyone's mind that the price of lithium will rebound. Where that price goes, it's anyone's guess at this point. But I think the most important thing to note is that while it's hard for companies to get funding today, those who have capital like E3 and are more advanced like E3 is, are able to survive through this time to get to the next up cycle and do very valuable work. So we're not stopping. We're building a demonstration facility. We're going to move into feasibility, which is a more engineering design of the commercial facility, and where other companies who aren't funded can't necessarily move at that same pace, which what happens at the end of the day is that you create less ultimate supply because those projects can advance at the pace they were. And so what will end up happening is a bigger volatile upswing because there'll be less product available on the market. So when times are like this, you put your head down and you get to work, and that's what we're going to do.
Great. And you were talking about the U.S. I was talking to an expert that said that the difficulty for Canada might not be the size of the resource, but the quality of the resource, that there's higher concentration of lithium in the U.S. than there is in Canada, making it maybe less economically efficient to do this kind of work here and in Alberta. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's a size and it's a grade. You know, the Alberta resource is a bit lower grade than some of the southern state Smackover formation, but there is a limited amount of lithium in North America, and so we still need to develop all of these projects. And looking at when you look at grade as the only metric for evaluating a project, it's a very biased view. Some of the more important things that actually come out of projects that are trying to commercialize. So not when you're in the development mode, grade looks really important, but when you're in the commercialization mode and you're trying to build a project, things like permitting become far more important than grade. The ability to actually build a project in a jurisdiction that has a favorable industry is what becomes the most important factor in terms of your risk and your ability to move a project forward into commercial stage. And I think, again, that's why Alberta has such a leg up, is that we have the work done by our previously energy minister brought regulatory authority for lithium to the Alberta Energy Regulator, and the systems and processes that we need to permit are already in existence there, and it's a very well laid out, transparent permitting process. It's still there, it's still rigorous, we still need to go through it, it's very important, but it's very transparent, and it is not like that elsewhere in this world. And so I think we have the advantage to be able to understand what our permitting process is and be able to predict it and therefore plan for it and put the applications in with the understanding that we need to get them approved.
Thank you. That concludes today's announcement. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks, man.
Great job.